It's not clear if Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson plans to run for a third term, but what is clear is the Republican has changed a lot since first arriving in D.C.
Yeah, from Tea Party insurgents to a peddler of conspiracy theories. Senator Johnson has a lot of people asking what happened. Here's CNN's Sarah Murray.
As Senator Ron Johnson toys with running for a third term, it seems there's no controversy the Wisconsin Republican won't wade into. Whether it's fueling misinformation on vaccines,
neurological problems, clotting, strokes, it's a cornucopia of problems that people certainly believe are associated with vaccine.
Dismissing the climate crisis as BS.
I think climate change is, as Lord Monkton said, okay.
Or suggesting the FBI had inside knowledge of the January 6th insurrection, but didn't thwart it.
So you think that the FBI had fully infiltrated the militias in Michigan?
His apparent willingness to deny facts and spread conspiracies has left some in the state wondering what happened to Ron Johnson.
I mean, he was our guy.
Mark Becker, former head of the Brown County GOP, went from rallying behind Johnson to campaigning against him in a few short years.
Everything that he's done since Donald Trump, it's been so devoid of reality.
Still, Becker called up Johnson to air his frustration over Republicans peddling unfounded claims of election fraud. When Johnson surprisingly returned his call,
and I said, Ron, Joe Biden won the election. And he said, yes, but 1.5 million people voted for Donald Trump. I'm not stupid. I'm not going to piss those people off.
Becker wrote a column about their exchange and pressed Johnson to voice his faith in the election results.
Did you hear from him at all after you wrote an editorial about that call?
I sure did. You know I did.
Well, yes.
So yeah, crazy. So I got a text on January 7th. So this was a day after the insurrection. Mark, it is my sincere hope to never have to see or speak to a low-life weasel such as yourself again. Please stop trying to contact me. So they're still picking up glass on the floor of the Capitol, and that's what he's concerned about.
Johnson declined an interview, but as previously said, Becker called him under false pretenses, and Johnson expected the call to remain private. According to Johnson, months later, he went public with what he claims the conversation was about and what I had said. Anyone who would do that is a low-life weasel, and nothing they say should be given any credence. This week, Johnson was recorded by a liberal activist, again admitting Trump lost Wisconsin.
The only reason Trump lost Wisconsin is 51,000 Republican voters didn't vote for him. There's nothing obviously skewed about the results. There isn't.
In a statement, Johnson says those remarks are consistent with what I've been saying publicly on the 2020 election, and pointed to interviews where he admits Biden won. But he also continued to raise unfounded claims of election irregularities. To Michelle Litchens, Johnson is the same guy she first brought to a Tea Party event back in 2009.
He's always been a frank talker. He doesn't skirt around issues. He is not looking to make friends necessarily all the time.
She says he won over the crowd with a personal story about his daughter's heart defect and his concerns about government-run health care.
When Ron spoke, you could have heard a pin drop.
But she was skeptical when he wanted to challenge Democrat incumbent Russ Feingold in the 2010 Senate race.
I said, yeah, I don't think you really want to do that. He wasn't from politics, he ran a business. I'm like, a campaign is county fairs and dairy breakfasts and shaking hands. It's 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
But she helped him make inroads with conservative operatives and talk radio hosts. Combined with millions of his own cash and buzzy ads highlighting his manufacturing and accounting background, Johnson built a Washington Outsider campaign dedicated to shrinking government. And he won, ousting Feingold in a GOP wave election.
We need to restore fiscal sanity to this nation.
Democrats were so convinced Johnson's victory was a fluke, they ran Feingold again in 2016.
Thank you.
And Johnson notched another victory, this time alongside Donald Trump.
What do you say when people are like, what happened to Ron Johnson?
Well, I get two kinds of questions. One is what happened to Ron Johnson, and the other is like, why is he saying all this stuff, and why is he doing all this stuff?
Craig Gilbert has been covering politics since the 1980s and following Johnson since he was elected in 2010.
It's unusual to have a member of the Senate from a 50-50 state as conservative as Ron Johnson is. It's not necessarily great general election politics to be kind of to be where Ron Johnson has been on some of these issues.
Those issues include questioning safe and effective vaccines.
should you be exposing yourself, or should a parent expose their child to a vaccine that we don't know the long-term safety effect of these?
While touting COVID-19 treatments that health officials have found ineffective or, as the FDA warned, dangerous.
It's not just hydroxychloroquine, there's ivermectin, there's other things that we just completely ignored.
Johnson spokeswoman says he's opposed to vaccine mandates, but like everyone, he wants the pandemic to end and hopes the vaccine will play a key role in ending it. She says Johnson is also an advocate for early COVID treatment. He is agnostic regarding which drugs might be effective. He wants them all researched. GOP strategist Brian Schimming insists Johnson's frankness appeals to voters.
He's telling it as he sees it. And there's a lot of voters who say that's what they want.
As the senator grapples with whether to backtrack on his 2016 campaign pledge to seek only 2 terms.
I'm going to serve one more term. That's it. 2 terms. More than enough time. 12 years. Feingold's there for 18 years.
Controversial comments like saying Black Lives Matter protesters are threatening while Capitol insurrectionists are not are already reemerging.
I knew those are people that love this country, that truly respect law enforcement, would never do anything to break a law. And so I wasn't concerned. Now, had the tables been turned and President Trump won the election, and those were tens of thousands of Black Lives Matter and Antifa protesters, I might have been a little concerned.
Johnson's spokeswoman says he condemns the violence that day, but respects those who protested legally. Meantime, Johnson's remarks are invigorating a crowded field of Democratic Senate hopefuls in this politically divided state.
He's a person who is morphed into the guy who's going to say the racist part out loud. You know, we're talking real Archie Bunker here now, on top of the conspiracy theories.
With candidates like Mandela Barnes already using Johnson's words against him.
He speaks his truth, and unfortunately, he's delusional.